Climate in 2 minutes.
In this episode, we will go through the highlights of the Climate Change Assessment Report 6, recently published by the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC, vis-a-vis its implications to our current climate situation and responses.
The United Nations is calling the report a code red for humanity, which depicts the seriousness of what science is telling us about the current climate status, but also the urgency for governments and policymakers to enforce more aggressive treaties on climate change. There are currently 6 climate change assessment reports prepared by the IPCC, and these reports documents up-to-date knowledge on climate change, its causes, potential impacts, and response options. Recently, they published a 6th Climate Change Assessment Report, or AR6, has 3 installments. The first output, released last August 2021, focuses on the physical science basis of climate change, while the second and third outputs will talk about the impacts, adaptation, and mitigation responses, which will be completed and released by 2022.
The first installment of the AR6 reconfirms what we already know about climate change, that it is here and that greenhouse gas concentrations in the atmosphere continue to increase because of humans burning coal and fossil fuels.
Since 1750s, human activities continue to increase concentrations of well-mixed greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. In effect, global surface temperature continued to rise. It was observed that each of the last few decades is warmer than any decade it preceded. The report stated that human activities influence a pattern of observed precipitation changes, global acidification of ocean temperature, global mean sea level increasing, changes in land biosphere, and human-induced climate change affecting weather and climate extremes in every region across the globe. This is exhibited by global heat waves and wildfires in the Pacific Northwest, extreme flooding in Europe and China, and rainfall-induced landslides in India. Compound extreme events or simultaneous occurrence of 2 or more extreme events, such as droughts coupled with heat waves, sea level rise, and storm surges, are observed throughout the globe. In the Philippines, Pag-asa recorded the highest mean temperature for 2021 at 52 degrees Celsius. Torrential rains caused by the Habagat wind caused massive flooding in different areas in Metro Manila, wreaking havoc in coastal and low-lying communities. This is particularly alarming for highly vulnerable countries such as the Philippines. Coping with the aftermath of one extreme event is already taking a toll on our disaster response and mitigation, and the simultaneous occurrence of 1 or 2 more will have catastrophic effects.
In the next episode, we will discuss how our country is living up to its commitment to the Paris Agreement and how our governments are addressing climate change. Stay tuned for more Climate in 2 minutes.